Hello and welcome back to another exciting season of your favorite YouTube series, Life in the Garden! Alright, it's time for a quick tour of the outside, see what's going on. Behind me here, we've got one of 4 bluebird boxes we now have up. Last year we just had one box. The bluebirds moved in, they laid eggs, they hatched out some young, and then we had some English sparrows, an invasive species, obviously from England. Thanks guys. They moved in, they took over the box, they ripped the baby bluebirds out, they killed them. So that was pretty tragic. This year I'm determined to get bluebirds, I'm determined to get them to stay. Yesterday I put up 3 additional bluebird boxes, and today I saw the bluebirds going in and out of the one closest to the house. With any luck, we'll get a successful batch of bluebirds out of it. In these beds right here, I planted some peas the other day. It was pretty warm. It's early. If we get a hard frost or a freeze, I might lose them, but hey, it's a gamble I'm willing to take. Another something I'm kind of excited about, my raspberry rows right back there have finally, I planted them last year and the leaves have started to sprout. It's one of the first green things out here. So you see these little leaf buds just barely opening up, some little leaves. These right here are the black raspberries, mostly black raspberries here, a couple of red and yellow in this row. Kind of a sensitive topic. Over in the back here you see I have a lot of beehives. All my bees died this year. It's the first time in over 10 years that I have been without bees. So I did order some. I had a feeling early on that I was going to lose them, at least lose a bunch, and I've got 4 packages on the way. I should have them in like another couple of weeks, but it's rough. I can't. It's rough. It's been a long time since I have not had bees, so it's not a good feeling. I feel like a colossal failure, but you know, it's life in the garden. Soil is still pretty wet, but I did manage to get it out in some spots and go through and till a couple rows in here in preparation for some spring planting. Perhaps some of the most exciting news out here is the peach trees and the nectarine and the cherry trees looks like they're gonna make some fruit this year. They are gonna flower. I was really worried. We had some warm weather in February. The buds started to open or swell, and then we had a really cold snap. Like, I'm talking 0 degrees. I thought for sure the peaches were fried again and it would be another sad year without peaches, but they somehow miraculously pulled through, so I'm super excited about that. A couple of those buds are starting to open. I got rid of a giant burn pile this winter, and now I cut down the forsythia bush that was next to the house. We've got another burn pile ready to go, and I'm sure it'll get bigger as the summer goes on. My grapevines are in need of pruning. In case you're wondering, now is the perfect time to prune grapes. Before the leaves start forming, you don't want the buds to break. They're just starting to form, starting to swell a little bit. Perfect time for pruning grapes. You cut them back to almost nothing, and then over the summer you get huge vines. All this stuff grows in 1 year, and you get hopefully a lot of grapes off of it. Last year was good for us for grapes. The first vegetable that we'll be able to harvest this year is probably asparagus, and here you see this is one of the first shoots I've seen out here. In fact, this is the first shoot I've seen out here. There are a couple that are starting to poke through the soil. They grow really quickly. It takes about 3 years to get an established planting of asparagus, but once you do, you get some good sized stalks come up. You don't want to harvest before really the 3rd year, because everything you harvest takes away from the actual crop that you're gonna get. But once you have an established asparagus bed, you can harvest as soon as the stalks start to come up, and you can consistently cut for, you know, I think a little over a month, maybe 2 months, and have a pretty steady supply of asparagus, which you can't go wrong with asparagus. Here's another one of my bluebird houses. And you can see there's nothing else growing in the entire garden until you get to these couple of beds. And look at this. Here's my garlic that I planted last fall, starting to come up. That's also a very early producer. You can get garlic scapes really early on in the garden. One of the first things you can eat. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in for first episode of season 2 of Life in the Garden. And we'll be back soon with updates and just a little bit of what's going on right here in my garden. And also feel free to subscribe to my channel where I post lots of fun videos about all kinds of different things. Not just garden stuff, all sorts of entertaining videos and whatever else. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks.